more guys. I actually have music I can utilize, but I'm not going to. Brother raps. He told me anytime I want to use this indigenous, we rap indigenous, and start using it anytime I want. But I'm not with all that gizmo and gimmick shit. No gimmick with me. A lot of people have gimmicks like a motherfucker. I'm like, then they only want to show their face when they're talking. We'll get into it. It's all like bullshit. I see now. Wow. Every time they do an update, it's weird shit. Just to be nosy. Wow. Reface. They just can't stop. I'm about to let go of all that shit. Crazy. See, it's 5:38. Right time. 5:36. How does it do that? It's 2 minutes. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna get into it here in a little bit. I know that it's 8:39, 8:37 East Coast. Y'all be liking on some goofy shit. Bootsy fan. But the goal was to get rid of Trump. Who's goal? 4 years, 2 impeachments. Yeah, Trump had to go. This is an idiot that listens to the media. And Biden-Harris is proof positive. And Biden-Harris is proof positive that the Democrats just want to maintain the status quo. And everyone needed to see that. No, nobody did. No, you chose a faster, quicker death. Stop thinking you can narrate what they do in secret. It's dumb. Which is actually in your face. Oh, some people are just incredulous. Nigga can do what he wants. Just not with me, and that's why he with y'all. Same people saying the same dumb shit. You can vax the entire planet, but you can't feed the starving. Ain't that something? I know that's right. I love that. Probably shadow banning. Some people I like, but they kind of fucking weird. I talk to them, and they just like off the fucking hill. I don't know why. And I think that I blocked them, but they keep coming back, so it tells me it's Facebook with the algorithm, or I mean, it's YouTube, the algorithm, or whatever. Unbelievable. It's good. Somebody I know, because no, they went on, came in and left. I was about to say, who are you? tried last time. I guess. Woo! I'm going to start because I want to watch this scary flicker. Let me turn these lights on. Patio light, and porch light. Yeah. I know people are pretty busy, work and all that, drink, drugs, whatever you're doing. I don't know. But I gotta figure out how to use this too. It's there it is. I gotta copy that. No, don't use that. Yeah, we don't want that one. Excuse me. Um, oh, I see. Cool. All right. I'm gonna start pasting things, but right now I don't want to do that. None of that. Let's see here. Okay. Let's get them all up there. I know I haven't been on regular like I said I would, but I'm going to start being on regular. I find it very important because I've seen a lot of things that it's just not all right. Um, some things can be misleading. Um, some things I don't like to ever talk bad about people that don't need bad talking about. You know what I mean? Some things just need to be addressed. You know what I mean? Um, and there's a reality. There's a reality to it that most people can't stand, which it doesn't really bother me. It's just you kind of look at it and you say to yourself, okay, well, what's going on here? You know? Um, let's put that- yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And I want to bring something up about fascism or Marxism. I want to give you an example of what we're dealing with. What could be the whys? How come? sneezing. I got a cramp in my abdomen earlier, man. I sneezed so hard. I was like, what the hell? Got potassium. What the freak? It was like a hard one. Like, I've never done sit-ups or anything. It was like, whoa. I had to stand up and stretch back to get it out. It was crazy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's working a lot better, guys. With all these updates and all, them wanting to be nosy. They say one thing in the news and they've already done it. As far as the alphabet boys or girls or whatever, the alphabet people or whatever they would be called. That's probably a name they're gonna moniker and use and whatever. But it is what it is. It's not funny to those of us who know who we are, know where we're at. People make light of these things. I had to tell a couple of cats there. I says, "Look, man, stop it. You're Asian." By the new definition, I mean every terminology definition I can utilize on you is new, as far as being implemented towards you, because mongrel or Mongol was never an Asian. That's something of 19th century, 18th, 19th century, 19th century really. Um, I said I got pictures of people working on the railroad from the so-called West Coast, where some of them Chinese was black darker than midnight, and it wasn't because they were in the sun. This is some real stuff, and I'm not going to share those pictures. I would love to see people do their work, do real work, and instead of piggybacking off other people, go and find that information that's readily available. And I was surprised when I saw it. They were moving the tracks. They had the big, what you call it, I forget what it's called. I knew the name about half an hour ago. To carry them, about 10 men on each side, about 12 men on each side, and they would walk, a few steps, but it was a picture. And you could see damn near half of them was darker than, like black, Chinese, some of them wearing the Wrangler or Levi's or whatever you want to call them, and some wearing like, the little, we call the black pajamas or the kung fu uniform. Okay. I'm over here looking at something. My apologies, but I'm going to get into this because I don't want it to be. Hey, Ninja Spring, what's going on, Alito, bro? Stalin once did this for an audience. Stalin took a live chicken, plucked its feathers while it was live, dropped it on the ground, and it was squawking and everything. He took out some whole grain, threw it on the ground, and started walking away. And the chicken, bleeding, plucked live, started picking up the grains, a little squawking here and there, but following him. Do you get what I'm saying? Now imagine him being the media and the chicken being the people. Okay? Let's go ahead and bring this down. All right. That's kind of stupid. And the audience being the ones to learn from that lesson for control. You would think that people would understand these things. And I know it probably was never explained to you or some others. But what's sad is this is something we really deal with. We contend with this every day. I've watched people before the voting started and during, when Facebook, Instagram, all that were censoring the people who were going to vote conservative, doing all the foul, lying things they were doing. The liberal media was pushing this agenda. They're not liberal or conservative. They're actors to fulfill a certain promissory for a reward. And so now I look at people who don't show their faces. They got to have all this little. I can do all that right from here. Have all the little writings up top and all this little in the box. Bring y'all on to have a discussion. But when I talk, I'm here to teach. And then we can build afterwards. Most people know me on Facebook or Instagram. And Facebook, I got rid of Facebook. I just got rid of it. It's a worthless piece of crap. There's other platforms, a lot us veterans, we have a platform we talk on only to make sure nobody's taking their lives. A lot of people don't understand what goes. It doesn't matter if you're Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines. People see things. People have been through things. Me, I was abused as a child. I'm not hearkening on anything, parents or anybody. The abuse was a commonality of the plucked chicken, the audience, and then the grains. And you build up, I wouldn't say it's a definite, but you build up some resistance. But it does manifest itself or come out in different fashions or forms. I'm around a lot of Navajo and a few other native Asians, Americans, and they're very disturbed. They go to an pale skin school with a couple of dumb Negroes that teach, whether it be sports or whatever. It's very elusive. And though there are many who know who we are, there are plenty who don't. And you got to remember, I'm closer to the West Coast, pretty much, Arizona. And the worst part is not that I don't consider them family or brothers and sisters. It's the identity crisis, because I know growing up, the ones that I knew never called themselves indigenous. That's written. It's a known fact. What's more problematic is the history. So they themselves, knowing and not knowing, are the plucked chicken giving grains and led astray. A whole lot of land. They don't even know what the fuck to do with it. Let us retake all that land, and we'll be like the Jetsons. We won't need their cars. We won't need their factories. We won't need their nuclear plants. We have great minds, and that's what they fear. I'm an inventor. Not only that, in 9 months, I did tournaments. I became a Sabanan in Taekwondo. International Taekwondo Federation, USA, competing. You know, you had that, everything had your school and all that, and the flag and blah, blah, and me being a vet. And 9 months being a Sabanan, competing, doing all these crazy forms out the ass. It's my original first uniform. We used Velcro ourselves. And sweat hoodie and all that, and represented at 48 years old. Or 46 years old, excuse me. And represented. And I had issues, back, knee. I just always believed in pushing because of what I've been through. Right now, I have this, the Tri-West wants to schedule me. I'm 180% service connected. They're trying to, this is the government. When you talk like this, they want to just do things. They want to set me up for an appointment. But see, I'm gonna be the one asking the questions, because see, I'm very direct. I don't like the fact that I know things and see things on a different level. I don't want to talk about everything that I see. It's not my place. I don't really care. You either see it or you don't. I'm not here to point it out. I'm here to mention things, specificalities, and bring people into that fold and tie it in so that way they can do their own. But most people are very lazy when it comes to doing research. And why are they lazy? Only they can answer that. Hey, Wado, what's going on? What's going on, T? And I would love for our people to be more eminent in the process of dividing themselves. So we need a break. I believe that we are all one big people on the earth, but I know there's some ugly things out there I don't care to even discuss. I don't even talk about my dreams no more. There's something wrong with some people that I don't even want to get into, whether they're lizards or whatever. I don't care. You know what my focus is? On my family. The fact that we have people who want to harbor information as if it belongs to them solely, when it doesn't belong to them at all. It belongs to everybody. If that wasn't the case, then what would the arguments and the battles and the fights and what would all that be about? Most of our people chemically have been doused. That means chemically castrated, whether mentally, physically, performance, just a plethora of different ways. And yet my people still want to partake of all these different things that keep and continue to harm them. I would love for my people to have one moment in the limelight of lies, the limelight of lies, to exercise themselves into segregation once more. No, they can keep their little made-up states, the divisive manners and tools that they use, but we need to gather about 30 million of us, get on about 800, 2,000 acres, we could do it like that, and build our little metropolis, excuse me. To have our little metropolitan area and do for ourselves what we have forgotten. Well, as many of us who bushcraft, build shelters, this, that, we work, habitat, man, we know how to build houses, design, architect, all that. Grow the trees and allow them to grow and make it a safe zone down and upwind that they cannot fly and lay their little irritants out to fuck our lungs up. Have our own security forces that you cannot come with this ideology and factories to build, to pour metals and everything, to get back to hand molding copper with soft rocks, purifying our waterways and streams. This is what they fear, okay? And the health of our people be the number one thing to till Mother Earth while they mind their business. We will set up and we will extrapolate and show them what they forgot with all these little cults, these little cannibals, these bloodletters, child molesters, and murderers. And they can have their homosexuality. They can have all that crap. Because that's all part of an agenda. I don't care. It's plain as day. But they don't want you to talk about it. Dave Chappelle did the most trickling, even if he's part of the, we're going to give this, we're going to take this away agenda that they have. See how people love that. They love to be the little chicken running around featherless, bleeding like a stuck pig, picking up grain. You know, like a little dance, chicken dance, you know what I'm saying? They love to be that. Instead of being the truth of who they are. And I detest the word warrior, but to be the warriors they are. And they don't like the resources that are available, but could be more so in our own, I hate the word institution, but in our own, what's that, brother? Grand elevations. Yes, great elevations. In our own construct, our own narrative. Look at the two brothers that actually built the car, and then Ford comes along and mass produces it. But a brother showed him how to go ahead and do that. And, you know, the Wright brothers, when we saw the little nigglets, the little Indian nigger, it's the same thing. Running around with these little, from the Gazette newspapers, flying these little airplanes. And there they went into get a bike and study a bird. And, you know, we've been the innovators of so much. Now look at all these guys walking around here looking like something off of goddamn what's that, Trinity and Neo and all you know, Matrix, long clothes talking about heavy metal and shit. They're not even aware of who created heavy metal, punk rock. Because the same people that took our flag and made it into some racist shit, the rebel flag, we rebelled against the institution that was coming. Was it what people have a problem with the Indian Wars of 1765? Don't know the truth of the Civil War? The majority of us fought on the side of the great because who wrote the narrative and printed the books? People have a hard time saying the word Zionist. I don't have no respect for a goddamn Zionist, but I have Jewish brothers and Jewish family. There's nothing I can do about that. I wasn't there to scope and scoop who's supposed to sex who. It's not about a monetary gain for me. It's about fixing the fissure, bringing in a good fusion that aligns everything, like when I weld, to make sure that everything is just right with my rod, that I have a solid sill. That is what is important. Why is it that most people have a hard time grasping this? I don't know, because they like the entertainment. I'm not going to mention no names or anything. Some people have to talk all day, and they're beating around a bush, dismissing this, but yet their whole narrative is based off of what they're dismissing. whether it be religion or whatever. Me, I'm gonna tell you, I knew my great uncles fought his children in the Civil War. Great uncle. All right. I knew 4 generations going back to the early 1800s, born in the 60s. Yeah, we age well. Problem is, not so much now because of the implications of what they've done and what they've implemented into our dietary. I have women, and our women need to stop being so arrogantly ignorant. And our men need to stop being so self-abusive, because when you're self-abusive, you're abusive to the one that matters the most. I'm only using women and men to extrapolate on explanation. I hate those words. We're sentient beings. Sentient don't mean not having physical. We just need to elevate ourselves again, and we cannot do it in this fusillade of arbitrary agreements that are worthless. That we're not part of their design because we belong to natural order. I had a discussion with a brother, and I have another one. Says everybody was here in America, so no. They weren't. No, they weren't. We're the original, all the rainbow. And their eyes like, whoa. And I love the conversation, the great Bill, and I'm not dismissive. I always say I'll take it in, I'll just research some things regardless of what I already know. But no, see, there's over 100 pieces of literature that shows that there was no pale skin here. Albinos and albinism are two different things, and leprosy is totally different from both of them. When I studied medicine, and there's a big difference when you can correlate these things with these 100 forms of literature that point to these facts. That most of the people that came here were not pale skins. A lot of them were darker than most of us. And some of the darkest nations, being the Mohican, the Jamansi, the Yama Nation, not all, many different shades, the Pequot, were all dark. And why is it that people have a hard understanding of this? They came, why did they come here looking for the fountain of youth? See, our people love to eat beef and chicken and pork. It's not even our dietary food. We didn't eat that. First of all, it's not indigenous to this land. It's very new still. Then they watched Anthony Bourdain before they murdered him, and the Jew, fat, bald-headed guy that ate rats and tarantulas and shit. Flesh, their desire, and here we have copulated that. As if we're trying to make some kind of new baby, attempting to make some new baby of some sort. It's really disappointing that we have a younger generation, not all, a younger generation who have a hard time letting go of what they have immaculately conceived and conceptualized to be relevant because they've lived it. It's because you lived it don't make it relevant to who you really are. I love to listen to everybody do their lives, and I'm going to be coming on every day, maybe twice sometimes. Do I get a good walk or run before I wash my behind? I don't be funky. I use lime as a deodorant. I don't use none of the man-made stuff. I use lime, green lime, a lemon, and I can go 24, 37 hours without getting a little natural whip, you know what I'm saying? And my natural don't be all that bad. Because, man, I'll smell some people, I'll be like, what? And they be like, why you be smelling like almonds? Don't worry about the why I asked to how is what you need to know. I just ate 2 slices of pizza, so I know when I go upstairs, if I bust one loose, I'm going to be like, oh, my goodness. Because I had the taste for a pizza. But I'm about to get me a shot of my, remember I told y'all it grows quick? See how quick it grew? That's just from yesterday. A couple of drops of water. It'll be up here tomorrow. And then I'll cut down another quarter. Juice for 2 more shots. Wheatgrass with a little cilantro. It's important that we understand what our body requires and needs, but more so than anything, a clarity of thought. Absolute of all fear. Even if we're about to expire, to remove the inundation of fear and understand that, hey, look, this time when I return, I'm coming back as the words daylight, death. I am coming back with a purpose. because we're in that time. And you must know these things. You must be able to speak these truths. And you must be able to carry them through knowing that it's an exact. There's a rationale that has no need to be given behind the reasoning. I would love for my people to, like the water or the coconut water, the lemon water, the lime water, vitamin C and vitamin K and all that stuff, to understand that just as this flows smoothly, so does our 21 grams of 32 ounces, which leaves our body. You dictate and control it. The reason why they have us stuck in this commodity of ignorance and institution of lies is because you will not study self and elevate yourself to a point, even in destruction that we are in, to know what your real purpose is. And it is not just to go on some dirt, be cremated, that there is a grander existence of who you are and a greater purpose beyond all knowledge. They think they're the secret keepers. No, the keepers, the one to keep you down, and they become foolish and stuck in that foolish place of thought. Even with me talking like this and them watching, they still will never grasp it because they become too delusional. You know, when you start partaking of human fluids and things, that elevation is just like crack cocaine and heroin, used abusively. Even if they attempt to utilize it in a certain way, it is not natural. So there is a corruption to the source. It's like a virus in the machine. There is no Alita, battle angel. No. We want to believe in all these things because we want to attribute everything to movies. I see a lot of people talking about presidents of this, that, and other. Remember, you must be clear on who gives a about any of that, and should it really matter in your elevation? See, if you're not going to be part of that number that's going to be here during the battle, you must prepare yourself for a return. Never ask or quander what return. Just know that you play a major role here or in another. I'm using that word loosely. There's vibrations and frequencies. Why do you think they keep including your device will start to update outside of active hours? Leave it on and plugged in. Open setting to adjust your active hours and whether you want reminders. Okay. It's probably going, if it restarts, I'll be back on tomorrow and pick this up. But again, regardless of all that, we have a place in time that is bigger than this, bigger than this ladder, bigger than this frankincense I'm about to burn another one. I love when I'm doing this, smelling frankincense and myrrh. And then when I'm upstairs, I burn lavender. Very calming. And this is important. Why? It plays a major factor, our senses. What do you see when you smell certain things other than pollution and the things you can't smell? See, they've had a long time to learn how to harm and hurt. They want me to go in for this little mental thing, and I'm gonna sit there to an idiot, somebody who's probably bonkers as hell, like they're supposed to be able to read me when I can toy and play with them all day. I can sit there and lie. First thing I'm gonna say is, do you have my records? Do you know my history? Tell me my history first before I answer anything or say anything. Tell me my history. And the moment they start, if they don't start off with the key things, I see this interview is done. You're here with an agenda. Do they want their little fiat note back? Is that what it's about? Laws and rules and this, that, and procedures I know nothing about? Or what are you really here? See, they'll show you that they're emotionally unstable. And then what I'll do is I'll silently be holding their ass accountable my way. I'm not going to say it here because then these guys will red flag and they'll hit him up and let him, make sure he's not doing this and that. Yeah. When you travel, are you aware that when you go certain places that if you got a mouth, they already have people in position? you're going to get something to eat, be mindful and careful, because in a few days, if you're real sick or ill, it's because somebody went in there and says, that vehicle pulls up, you make sure that is on that sandwich, you make sure that is in that drink, and there's no to this. And all them people working them jobs are weak, cowards, and they're going to be quiet. Nobody's going to say nothing. And you're attempting to figure out with a medical industry that through medical malpractice, murder or kill over 250,000 people a year, when they're worried about 40,000 deaths a year from guns, and 26% of those are suicides, and another majority, about 15%, are gang related, and the other ones are protection, people defending themselves. But who am I? Who am I to extrapolate on these things that are well known? But see, the people who want to be liberal, the ones who have become perverse, they're the ones that want to fight for something they don't even know what they're fighting for. They believe they're putting in a good fight. Why? Because they're them chickens with the quills plucked out the skin, bleeding, chasing them grains like Stalin showed them how. A little blood, a little pain, as long as you feed them a little couple of crumbs that they've been doing on people for a long time. Is the reason why people run around half crazy now. Stop going for the grain. And if there are people who don't want to assist or help, and you're actually living a righteous life, make your way to those of us who are willing to assist you to get to a spot or a place. This doesn't have to be the 1880s in dire times. And the best thing to do when you get with those individuals, be very mindful, do not be slick, because you can get hurt if you're on that side of the fence. The world we're living in, I don't even like that word world, because it emphasizes round, spherical. The sun ain't no 93.6 million miles away. That just, I mean, if anybody studied art, they would know how the sun would peer through a cloud. And if it's coming through a cloud and the rays are going this way and they're going that way everywhere from a certain point, then obviously it's not 93.6 million miles away. It's just simple math, and not just perspective, but understanding what perspective is, just like that little bloody chicken following those grains with the audience looking on. They always say they always like to kill and get rid of the 5% because they speak against things. There's a math equation to that. And there's what, 15, 25% who just follows, like they wonder. And then the majority, don't have nothing to say. They're going to do obedient sheep. And sheep don't want to go to the slaughter. They cry out. They know exactly where they're going. There's fear and everything. Well, any of y'all that ever sheep herded and they were comfortable with the herd, when one's missing or 2 or 3 are taken or they being led to slaughter, they react. They know. Our people have completely turned off. So it's up to us. Well, not me. I'm not here to turn you on. I'm just here to speculate about things in a conversation that's based on dual processing. This or that. Not that red pill, blue pill shit. I think both of them are poison. Some people don't need to wake up. Some people are woke, and the right God will properly speak, and they will know. Or they may already know themselves, and they already have a plan. And the plan is just to pay attention to how things move. Then what about that 1%? And that percent that's not known, and it's not the alphabets. This is what I'm talking about. I don't like to cross wires. I don't want to have anybody running around blah, 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 blah all day. What does that accomplish? I'm going to be selling some shirts. I got some, hit that up, get the hat, support. This is what I'm going to do with it. But I didn't buy no acres and start sending out no memes saying, hey, look, after 6 months, I got 20 acres. Who wants to come? Let's start building. Outsourcing certain products. Going to state fairs with no phones on and having these conversations quietly. This is what I'm talking about. I see a lot of people selling this and that and other. What are you doing? This is not to be hard on them. What are you doing to help our people? The truth of who we are. What are you doing to bring us together other than visiting his place and that place? And talking about a handful of people when there's a whole slew of us who are about this. Is that we need FaceTime? Is it we've become so high on social media? It's about look at me. Do we need more oligarchs? I still see people pushing patriarchy and matriarchy. That's not our shit. That is not our stuff. But they have a hard time letting go because even when their writings they say they have a system that looks like they have patriarchies in this clan and they have matriarchs in this clan. Them suggesting that is not the interpretation of who we are. We were balanced. We took care of Mother Earth and we lived for a very long time, and our children became our brothers and sisters who we taught to do the same thing, to be relevant, to keeping the world alive and healthy, to continue to move because of our first betrayal and the flood that ensued, the mini floods, torrential landslides, and before the rains fell. People have a hard time grasping that. Tomorrow I might talk about the pale wolf and the dark wolf because a lot of people still want to hold on to this white and black narrative. I'm not here to debate with you, but if you want to hold on to that, knowing all the information out here, that's on you. But I will probably do that story tomorrow. Get enough people on here, then I'll do it. I'll probably come on around 3 o'clock my, well, no, 2, you know what? 2 o'clock my time will be 5 o'clock on the West Coast. On the East Coast. The West Coast, a lot of them are chilling, cooling. I know a few. They can always come on and look. I'll put the message out there. But invite some friends along. You know? Hey, look, you can subscribe, hit the bell notification if you choose to. You can like it. It would be appreciated. But this is not monetary. This is what I look for. Because here, and knowing where you are here, that makes up your whole being. You know, we breathe, what is it? Every minute we breathe about 20 to 30 times. You know, most people going under might have about 8 to 10 breaths. We must be significant in our understanding. I might have had the time wrong there, but it's all right. You can look it up and find it out for yourself. That's what I love to see people do. Do the research and learn these things. Yeah, it's plentiful to have a lot of information and knowledge. But sometimes, you know, you got to refresh it because some things aren't really that important. What's more important is clarity, no fear, and that you're capable of so much more. And that's not a hint to a secret. You are capable of so much more in the realm of no comprehension and understanding. You are literally capable of so friggin' much more. I don't do poker faces. I don't have time to do a whole lot of lying. None of that. So share this. I'd appreciate it. And I really respect all my Sidanelli, my family, my Dagmatini family, for the time that you give in listening to me. So with that, I say grand elevations, and may they continue to be grand elevations. Somebody said to me, I'm going to share this with you. I said, "Yo, Red, you like questioning all the words you utilize because I said most of the words we utilize are meaningless, though they're meaningful." And I thought that he got off, but I saw the little green dot. I was sitting there for like 2 minutes, and I was about to send a message, "Yo, you all right? Internet problems?" And I saw you see the little dots and the little type. Damn, was he about to give me a damn speech or something? Did I hurt his feelings? He says, "Yo, man, I never looked at it like that." I said, "Brother, I'm not asking you to. This is how I see it. It would be an honor to have a larger audience to talk to share some of my intimate knowledge of my family in the 4 generations. And when I say 4 generations, I'm talking about those who are 100-something years old. My grandmother passed away a year and a half ago, in 94. My great-grandmother, I was in the military, had to come home in her 90s, about 95, 96. My great-grandparents, my great-grandparents, I get to meet them, my great-uncles. And they fought in the Civil War as children. I didn't know that because the school taught us a lot. Big, tall motherfuckers, Indian, Cherokee, and Jews married into our family. My great grandmother was born. My older sister, very dark. Bettina Lee, my grandmother, Catherine Lee, who became Catherine Lee Wright, who married Smoking Charlie Wright, who Joe Louis carried the box out of Newark, New Jersey. My uncle Lonnie Wright, Denver Broncos, passed away a few years ago, cancer. John Amos, some of y'all seen the pictures with him, my aunt, and my cousin Jazz, and my brother Reg and Dwight. And I can go on. Herschel Walker's a relative. And a lot of these people are caught up in that black, just want to forget their identity. Why? Because you got to think about the time that they lived. My great uncle, no, he didn't forget nothing. You got to remember that he knew his grandparents and great grandparents. So it's a beautiful thing to take the oldest child and share information that is not on here. Nobody talks about it. I was doing this in the 70s and 80s. A lot of you weren't even born. Fighting with teachers and principals, telling them they're lying about history. Could you imagine some little runt, 15, 16 years old, smacking a teacher and punching the principal? You keep lying to us, you know? Already hostile because of my abuse. Hell, I could have probably been a serial killer or something, right? That was not to be my travels. I did some dumb things, oh, for sure. Seen a lot of messed up stuff. Death, you name it. I think about that movie with the kids poking the dead body. South Central, me all day. Head laying over there, the funk. Went overseas, I was like, y'all ain't used to smell no dead body. Y'all all right? Oh yeah, they pee and poop and everything, man. You ever seen a leg just laying there in the middle of the street? The head stuck up on the big green fence at a church? Or a finger with a Masonic ring laying in the middle of the... Man, that's a kid. So I went into the military with PT fucking SD. The most worst thing I ever saw was to remember those old fireplace matches. After this, I'm done. Stuck between our toes and lit in the kitchen. Tied to these big, tall tape, tall chairs from the 60s, 70s, and lit. Lean over, we could blow them out. Yeah. So, we've all been through something. That's what made me want to fight. Now I realize I don't have to actually do the fighting that we've been made to think or thought we're supposed to. It doesn't have to happen that way. And it damn sure doesn't have to happen with their lollygagging felonious ways as far as their laws. I'm a lawful person. I believe in natural order. I believe in doing the right thing. But I detest the enemies of life. I hate them with a bitterness. And there's no hard spot in my heart for it. It's an understanding of hate. It's not implicated by the irrational behaviors and going out and run around chopping the head. All those people are just delusional. There's some ego in that. No, mine is they need to stop, cease, and de-exist. have always been a very loving and forgiving people. But they have become so delusional. They're on their TRT. They're on all this crap. They're running our ways. They want some of the. I was the first one on Facebook to share a bunch of pale skins that got black and Negro on their birth certificate, and everybody's like, where you get that at? I'm like, y'all don't know nothing. Oh yeah, we have pale skins here. Don't get it twisted, but not like what you think, not what you see. And stop using the terms hybrid and all that dumb shit. Why do you think they have the word mother or father of all civilization? Mankind. Some people want to dismiss it. They don't like it. They don't want to have it. They don't want to harbor it. They want their thinking to be the implementing tool of the narrative, to be nothing but the truth. So with that, notification bell. So when I come on, give me that like. I appreciate it on this platform. Only this one. And share it. All right. And again, last time y'all have a grand elevated night. May your rest be very rewarding. Again, y'all have a